What's up, guys? This is JTQ9 of Ssx1, and welcome back to the channel. Season 45, War number 2 against Salty. We have a fun one for you today. As I don't know if you caught my last video where I had a little bit of a shaky start. This one here, also potentially some fights that did not go according to plan later on in the video. But to start off first, we have relatively easy fight with Blade versus Mephisto. Love getting destroyed with the not the advanced power boost, with the indestructible invulnerability boost, and that's why it's there, to make up for some of our mistakes early on in the fight. This one here with the power back boosts, Danger Sense, you'll have his aura fail on occasion, which is always good. But you still have to watch out for it because it will do some damage. And just like that, the fight is over. So, wasn't particularly worried about that one or this one. Gallon also being a dimensional bean. Sorry, usually I cut out the potion stuff being when we're going in between fights. But anyway, yeah, Gallon being a dimensional bean means Blade will have his Danger Sense on, so I don't need additional kind of synergies for him at the moment. Pretty straightforward fight. Don't get hit by any special. Well, sorry, don't get hit by the heavy, because then the specials won't do anything. And just build to the SP2 with the power backs, and then constantly throw it. So overall, pretty easy fight. I think I end up I end up pushing him to the SP3 just because I knew I was going to be able to finish the fight off in no time. So just like that, 2 quick fights already done, and now we get into the fun part. So this Black Widow Clairvoyant, I've taken her a couple times in previous seasons. The number one thing you do not want to do, unless you want to make the fight extremely complicated, is what? No, is you do not want to push her to an SP2, because if you push her to an SP2, it will cause you some major headaches, as she will then be unblockable for the remainder of the fight by getting additional debuffs on you. So what did I do? I pushed her close to the SP2, and then I let her hit me with a 3 to 5 hit combo that will cause me a lot of pain and frustration moving forward in the rest of this fight. I've taken this fight at least 2 or 3 times, and I know how to fight it, and yet I still do something bonehead like that, unfortunately. So, this fight, overall, despite being unblockable the entire time, went relatively well. At that point, I didn't realize the debuffs were going to fall off on me, and I happened to have pushed her to an SP2 again, which then rendered her unblockable. So I'm trying to avoid any of the specials being launched. My kind of drafting intercepts was on par, and I actually ended the fight with 98%. So overall, very, very happy, because I was going to have to use him again later on and didn't want to have to heal up as much. So this Havoc fight, as I'm sure you've seen in other people's war videos, also not overly difficult. And I say that with a big asterisk. Not overly difficult unless you play... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say not unless you play with Warlock, but what ends up happening is he ends up going unblockable as well for the entire fight. So I take a bunch of shots to the face, and now I'm like, oh, this will be fun. So I messed up, obviously, and just it's so painful rewatching this, just with the unblockable up, knowing that he's gonna be a pain, knowing that I'm gonna have to intercept. I can't reparry, I can't do all of that. So even with a heal block, I decided to push to an SP3, even though I won't necessarily heal, but also just to get some additional damage with the degen, and trying to just bait out all the specials. But I also managed to take one to the face, which is also nice. So This fight, a minute and a half in, is not going according to plan. Just was not comfortable. I don't know if it was just nerves or being, second war of the season after having kind of a shaky-ish start. And I'm just taking a beating. Fortunately, he's not doing kind of too much damage against me. Trying to keep him infected, well, I guess that doesn't really change anything at this point. I don't have to reverse his healing or anything, but the challenging thing is to just not take hits, and I'm getting so close to dying here, and it's not a comfortable fight at all. And man, I don't know why I didn't speed this up. I'm sorry, I should have sped this up, because just trying to talk through it as I'm taking hits. Oh my goodness, like that's how close I knew it was close when I got to the end of this fight. And again, a lot could have gone even worse for me, but I was lucky there that he ended up throwing this random heavy, which thankfully allowed me to get the solo. Solo's a solo. We don't ask how it happened. Unfortunately, there is video evidence, so you can make fun of me for that horrible, horrible fight. But a solo is a solo. So this next score fight, I was supposed to take it in War 1, but didn't end up. Someone ended up grabbing the fight instead. This is my first time taking him with Sandman, I believe. I don't think I took him last season, where this fight turned out to be super sketchy. So my goal was so it's one eye open. So there's the first part, is that I can't parry, because if I have any, with all my petrifies and stuff up, if it's going to be doing damage, and I don't want it to be reflected onto me, if there's anything as well. And if you notice as this fight goes on, he just always seems to have a bar of power very close to it. So I could only build my power kind of 3 hits at a time. I was trying to get as many petrifies on him as I could, so at least it would dampen his power gain, but also reverse the healing he would constantly be having because it's gore, and kind of try to win the fight that way. So the one complicated thing is that when you're constantly baiting the SP1s is that, especially with only 3 hits or 4 hit combos, you can get backed up pretty easily and very quickly. So far, I've still somehow managed to maintain kind of map presence in the sense of being closer to the front of the screen. But as you can see now, it's like 5 hit combo special, 5 hit combo special, and I'm not pushing him back nearly as much as I'd like to, and building to my SP1 constantly, which, I mean, not only, he also has protection on, so I have to knock him down, which will remove the protection, but to get the petrifies up. So now I'm kind of getting backed into a corner, and fortunately with the protection down, he's, wow, hitting through my block, which is also good. The damage, because of all the, like, I mean, look at that, 25 petrifies is great. So I'm doing some decent damage and managed to get him down safely. It was just a super sketch fight. Honestly, the whole time I was nervous and just kind of shaking, because I wasn't, like, in theory, when you're discussing the fights and hypothetically it should work very well this way, and this way. When it comes to the execution of it, can be very scary sometimes, and that was one of those fights that I had a little bit of trouble with. But what can you do? Anyway, all to say is I had another I had a 5-fight war that led to no deaths, fortunately, so I managed to get through that. Fortunately, we tied this one, and because of the time, which we never seem to win on, it's another tie for a loss. Everyone put in a kind of a valiant effort, and it's just unfortunate that we couldn't get done this time. But anyway, it puts us 1-1 in the season, 9-0 in the season for me personally, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.